What's up, everyone? You're tuned in to the channel Eps, episode 136. I'm your host, EEPMON, because there is none other. So, still in Japan, specifically in Yokohama, and I had an epiphany today. I thought I would share with you all. It's a bit of a little philosophy that I've been thinking about, and I was reminded about it when I was in the public onsen at this hotel. For those who don't know what an onsen is, it's basically a Japanese public bath where you just get butt naked and you sit down in this really comfortable hot water that ranges between 39 to 42 degrees Celsius and is absolutely relaxing. Of course, it's split between men and women, so yeah, I mean, that's how it is over here. So, my epiphany, and I want to share it with you because I think it's quite interesting. Um, it's the notion of making waves. And as I observed when I enter the onsen or the bath, you know, with anything, you create ripple waves, right? Waves is kind of like because you're moving into the water medium. Um, and that's based on the act of moving, and my waves would essentially interact with the natural flow of water, and sometimes it may also interact with another person's wave when they're, in the same onsen. Sometimes they create bigger waves, sometimes they nullify each other. So um, I thought that this actually, in real like in real life, everything that we do, water is just the analogy of the wave, but every action that we do causes waves. We can't see these waves, but we are essentially energy generators. And every time we do an action, whether we move, whether we talk, we interact with other people, we are actually creating these ripples into the fabric of space and time, if you get my drift. So, these five things I thought I would like to talk a little bit, elaborate a bit more on, which are one, every action creates ripples. Two, interacting ways, collaboration, and conflict. Three, navigating unseen forces. Four, harmony and disruption, or harmony versus disruption. And five, the impact of collective waves. So, to the first point, every action creates ripples, just like how entering the water creates ripples. Every action in life has a ripple effect, right? We heard about the ripple effect. Well, it's exactly where it comes from. You can highlight, so basically, how small actions need not to be ginormous. But you know how people say step by step, take some small steps, be proactive. These are small actions that can lead to bigger outcomes. Because as you continue to do these small actions, you are effectively creating more waves. You're projecting more waves from yourself, such that you have this consistent momentum. And at some point, your waves that you generate based on your actions, big or small, will eventually find itself interacting with other waves, other people's waves. Um, and over time, will influence both your personal journey and, as I mentioned, those around you, right? And that's interesting because then I can talk about the second point, which is interacting waves, collaboration, and conflicts. So, as I mentioned, as we are actionable, like just think about it. If you're just going to sit down every day on your desk doing the same task over and over again, your wave output is very small, very minute, because you're given a task, because these control parameters are put in place for you, right? You have a specific task, you have to do it, and your waves is really being contained by a system. So, of course, your impact of your ripples will only be confined in a box, right? So therefore, but if you allow yourself, and for like, and this is especially true for creative entrepreneurs, if you allow yourself to be absolutely free without any constraints, without any matrix system confining you to truly express yourself in the most freest form possible, your waves can combine to become more powerful, or they could cancel each other out. But that is what the path of a creative entrepreneur, or any, doesn't need not to be a creative entrepreneur, just being, entrepreneur, just entrepreneurial, being an entrepreneur in general. uh you have to try things out, right? That is what the trials and tribulations, and uh you know uh, trying everything that you can, experiencing, as I mentioned in my previous episode, success and failure, right? Sometimes your waves that you generate will uh, will be empowered and amplified by like-minded individuals, right? That's why they say surround yourself with the right people. That's basically meaning people who align with your energy, so that when you combine your energy with them, it becomes amplified. But of course, there's also the other token where, if you are, you will face people, you will face situations and challenges and obstacles where the waves goes against yours, right? So when you put your wave out there, there will be people, there will be situations where they'll be like I'm gonna like nullify it. I'll either counteract with my wave against your wave, or sometimes their wave is more powerful than your wave. And we experience some conflict, we experience challenges, obstacles, but this is where we learn and we observe and we appreciate and analyze, observe the situation as to why that is. And we have to learn to get over that wave, right? Get over it, right? You have to learn, experience, appreciate it. So instead of like, so the wave comes at you, and then it might not be pleasant, but the true form of assessing the situation is not to give up, is to look at that situation. Why is it not, why is it affecting you, and how to circumvent it. And that's called experience. That's what it is. Um, so when you align with others, so basically in life, um, this idea of empowering wave is simply what is called collaboration. With others, it could be conflict. So when you align with others, you can amplify your efforts, but opposing forces may diminish progress. It's a moving target, but that's what growth is. And I said, that's what experience is all about. So therefore, as I already had touched upon, um, navigating unseen forces, right? What if there's a bunch of waves coming at you? What you gonna do? How do you navigate them? So as I observed, I was sitting at this, just looking at, I was just staring at the water. There's one pool that's really sort of like foggy. It's a very like it's kind of like a misty water, where it's just all you see is this diffusion of the light in the bath. It creates this beautiful osmosis of light diffusion. So you, to the point that when you see the waves, you can see the the reflection, or like the top part of the wave crest is like really bright, so you can see these different waves and just coming at each other. And when you push the water against the water, you see how your waves are affecting the other waves around you, which I thought is really cool. So water has a natural flow, much like life's currents, right? We talk about life current, life path, life flow. Like these are all related to waves. You know what I'm saying? Is that crazy? Um, so sometimes, despite your intentions or efforts, larger forces, as I mentioned earlier, whether societal, cultural, or personal, can steer your direction, can push you a bit away from your path or your lane, as they would say it. Um, so when you are faced with these things, there will be a feeling of you be feeling like, what is going on? I feel my alignment is a bit off. When that happens, like I mentioned earlier, step back, and it is important to recognize and adapt to these forces. You will encounter many of them, okay? There are going to be many forces against you. Because if you look at the big picture, you have a goal, you have a direction that you want to go to, okay? But that direction is like, it's almost very like a target, right? It's your target versus an infinite, almost hypothetically, an infinite amount of different outcomes. But you have this specific target. That's hard to get because the environment in this increasing entropy world we live in, or this universe we live in, um, these forces that come at you or you encounter may very well steer you off your path. You have to recognize these things, and know how to mitigate and how to circumvent and know how to adapt to it. And when I mean by adaptation, is also your own emotions. I think one of the greatest challenges is adapting, adaptation to ensure that your emotion, no, your emotional state is um, is in check, because nothing can be worse than having your emotional state um, sidelined by an unforeseen force. So I think stoicism goes a long way. I bet I'm not. I'm For every entrepreneur I've met, there is an element of stoicism in their behavior and their attitude because they've been through the thick of it. So navigate unforeseen forces, folks. That's another thing I learned. Now, of course, harmony versus disruption. When you move with the natural flow of water, right? You want to move with the water, the way you feel harmonious. You're like, wow, it's the currents are moving me forward, it's propelling me forward. So it's almost like you're at this flow, this ikigai, this sort of like this momentum. It's like you're killing it. Um, but when you go against it, of course, there's disruption. It's going against you. It's harder. You have to put more energy and effort. And therefore, in life, when we align our actions with our values and environment, progress is smoother. Okay. And as I mentioned, it is very hard for you to stick to your conviction because there will be so many other people who want to take your time, so many people that want to take your energy, but you have to be convicted in that your values align with your actions, and therefore affecting the external environment. And once you have that going, then the flow will be in your favor. But you have to notice these things, right? And therefore, resistance often leads to friction and obstacles. I'm not saying that you have to avoid obstacles at all costs, no, but you just have to make sure you know where you stand within the flow of things. And finally, the impact of collective waves. Okay, of course, me as a person, I'm sitting down in my onsen and I was looking at the waves, I'm moving and I'm creating my own waves, but know that you are not the only one creating waves, right? When your actions intersect with others, there's potential for greater impact. The collective energy of people coming together, whether through teamwork or shared vision, can create significant change. Think about that. If you find someone or an organization or whatever that share the same fundamental values of you, of your target, of what you want to get to, what you want to achieve, team up. It's always great to work together to reach your goals faster. And not only that, guarantee it will be a win-win-win-win situation where everybody benefits because it's power in numbers, simply, right? I mean, again, I'm a digital artist now. I can just create art and just digital art, right, and just do my thing over and over. But clearly, in what I do in my life, collaboration is essential for my progression as a person, as an artist, as a career, right? Look at the work I've done before, right? If you just go to eepmon.com, you can see the work that I've done. You see the institutions and the museums that I'm affiliated with, uh, the shared vision of of building a more impactful community through art. Um, and now recently, I'm involving more myself in cultural diplomacy endeavors with like-minded um, people and organizations and even government. So to say that my success is all done by me myself is incorrect. In fact, by the power of the impact of collective waves can create even a bigger, more powerful, and an even longer reach beyond your wildest dreams. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. You will not like I even right now, while I'm in Japan, right? I could have easily stayed back in my city and go, oh, I don't know. Um, I don't know what's going to happen. Is it an investment? Is it really worth it? But look, I'm here and I'm making waves. I'm making waves right now. I'm making these connections, having these meetings, connecting the dots. Now, these are the steps, right? Whether they're big or small, these are the steps I'm making. And then I get an email back from another organization and they're like, we're excited. We want to do this. And I'm connecting the dots. That's called waves. These are the waves. And we will align in the same ways. We're going to have a bigger impact. And the outcome is, and I dare say that is what lies in innovation. Innovation is really propelling like-minded people, like-minded organizations, same value, philosophy with a really bigger impact. So much so, like I said, we not even conceive. That's the key, actually. I just made an epiphany again. That is the secret sauce to innovation, folks. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed what I had to talk about. This trip has been phenomenal. I'm so glad I'm here, and I'm here until the end of until early November. So I'm going to continue to make these waves, continue to have these sort of like conversations, and see what happens, right? That's the name of the game, folks. I could either twiddle my thumbs and go, oh, no, I'm going to complain, or I'm going to go out there and make shit happen, okay? And I guarantee you, by by making those things happen, making your waves, will always is always a good thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little, well, my pretty substantial rant, actually. Have a great evening, have a great afternoon, have a great morning, wherever you are in the world. This is the Channel E's episode 136. Like and subscribe if you like what I have to say. Comment below if you have anything you want to talk about. And I will certainly talk to you all soon. Bye bye.